Alright, what's going on, guys? We're back with another team building video, and today we're looking at Zacian Groudon again, which we looked at way in the beginning of the format in February, but now we're looking at it again. And no, this is not a Rinya Sun team. What this is now we're going to be using Dragapult. Yeah, we haven't used Dragapult in maybe half a year, maybe even more. It just has fallen off quite a bit in a double restricted format. You know, there's Calyrex everywhere. There's Zacian with play rough shenanigans. There's Yveltal. It just has become a little bit tough to run Dynamax offensive Dragapult, but there is a way to make it work, and I think this is a good squad to try and do it. So I originally liked Dragapult, you know, with Kyogre and Zacian as well. And Paul took it to Liverpool's, and he top cut with that kind of team with Dragapult, Zacian, and Ogre, and he used a supportive yet offensive set. And I looked at that, and it made sense. And I thought about it, and I said, why can't that work here with Groudon and Zacian? So this is what Paul was doing. So he ran a Focus Sash Dragapult, okay, and then he ran offensive but supportive set. He ran Phantom Force. He ran Fly, right? So Max Phantasm, Max Airstream, then he ran Will-O-Wisp, and then he ran Helping Hand. And I think this is a very, very good set to have on Dragapult at the moment, because it becomes an offensive threat and it also becomes a supportive threat. So, you know, you're a fast Will-O-Wisp user, you can't fake it out. Good against, you know, opposing Groudons, Zacians, Calyrex, Ice Riders, supposedly. That, you know, these all things, they don't want to take Will-O-Wisp, right? So it's also very nice to have. And then Helping Hand is also great. When Paul was using it, Helping Hand, Ogre, Water Spouts were very detrimental. Helping Hand with Zacian is also very, very strong. But then I thought a little bit more, and I said, you know what, let's add a little Clover spin on this kind of team. So instead of the Helping Hand, we're going to use something else, but we'll keep the other three moves. We'll keep the Focus Sash here, and I won't reveal this fourth move yet, because I want you guys to keep watching the video. We'll just see how we build the rest of the team. So Phantom Force, Max Phantasm works well with these two, right? Because then you get defense drops. Groudon's Precipice Blade start hitting even more like a truck. Zacian also hits even more like a truck after those defense drops. So I think it works well here. And then Max Airstream, you can make both of these faster. So good form of speed control. But then from here, how do we build the rest of the squad? So obviously we want something that gets enabled by the Groudon, so I think Charizard is a very, very clear choice. You know, and now we get a special attacker on the team because we already got 3 physical behemoths. All right, it's good to have a special attacker on the team now. So Charizard was the easy choice. You know, another Max Airstream user. G-Max Wildfire is strong. You know, you get those damage over times going, and then you get a third coverage move, which we'll talk about in a bit. But with grass types being annoying, like Rillaboom, and even the increase of Venusaur, I think Zard is a very, very obvious choice to have on this team, right? And then from here, you know, the Zard is also good against other big steel types that are kind of hard to break if you don't have like a strong fire type Dynamax. So stuff like Solgaleo, maybe Necrozma Dustmane, and opposing Zacian, even though you have Groudon for that. Still, it helps to have that special attacker to break through all that, you know, all that armor that these steel types like to have, I like to say. So from here, I think we need a little bit more support options because we got a lot of offense here. This is like half. So I also think something like Thundurus makes sense here. Not the Defiant one, but the Prankster one. And you'll see why in a second, because we have a pretty cool moveset that we're going to have that can benefit everyone here. But yeah, this will definitely be a support Thundurus. And then our last one, I think Incineroar just makes a lot more sense. We get Fake Out, we get Intimidate on the team, which, you know, every team appreciates, right? And, you know, Flare Blitz in the sun hits like a truck. And now we have a good Dark type against Calyrex, Shadow Rider. We have something into the Ice Rider as well, because, you know, we can bait a Dynamax from that and Intimidate it. Speaking of Intimidate, I need to put that here. And then just cycling parting shots and fake outs are very, very important, you know, when you're trying to build a very good VGC team. So this is a 6 that we have. And again, you won't see the shenanigans that we're going to use until we reveal all the movesets. But let's reveal the GIFs first. Instant, Charizard, and Thundurus are the secret 3 that we're going to be using, and then of course the main 3 we already had on the screen, which was Groudon, Zacian, and Dragapult. So now we're going to talk about the items, movesets, and EVs. Alright, so let's talk about the items and the moves here. So we started with this 3 with Dragapult here, and the last move here. Now, if you like Helping Hand, fine. You know, it's still a very, very strong move to have on this kind of team. But I am going with this move, Surf. And now you see the shenanigans that's going to come here. So Surf obviously was a good support move on Dragapult when it was paired with Colossal, because then you can activate the weakness policy and then Colossal gets a steam engine going and then it just smashes, right? But there's no Colossal here, so what are we enabling with the weakness policy? Well, you guessed it, here it is, the Groudon. And I remember back in Series 8 when I used weakness policy Groudon with like Petal, Blizzard, Venusaur. That was the funniest thing I ever did. And I think now this is something similar. So Surf doesn't do a whole lot of damage in the sun, which means you're not doing a whole lot of damage into your Groudon, and now your Groudon is very, very threatening and becomes a very, very strong Dynamax option. So very standard moveset here. Precipice Blades, Rock Slide, I think it's good. Now, because we're not the Assault Vests, we're going to be running Protect. And honestly, I still think Swords Dance is pretty good here. I just like Swords Dance on Groudon. I just like playing greedy in general, right? But if you like something maybe Fire Punch here or something else, you know, maybe like a Steel move, that's also good too. But I do like Swords Dance. Maybe I'll change this later when I make a rental code. Let me know what you think could be this third moveset. But I do like Swords Dance. But because we have a weakness policy, maybe we don't need it. But I'll think more in the future, right? This is more of just a team building video. But yeah, I definitely like Swords Dance still. It may change in the future, but yeah. Zacian, standard set. So Behemoth Blade, of course. Sacred Sword. We need the Play Rough move, of course. Very important against Palkias and Yveltals that are running around. And of course, Protect. Zard. So Zard, Blast Burn, strong Dynamax. G-Max Wildfire move, Hurricane. Another strong move, and then Solar Beam. Now we want that grass move here just because Gastrodons could be annoying, and we need a grass. It's good to have grass coverage for that thing because, you know, I don't know what if Gastrodon would even come to this kind of matchup, but you know, you never know. They just want to click yawn 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 50 times, and you know, you want to be able to just one shot that thing and say, where's your yawn now? I do like Lumberry here just because Venusaur is starting to become popular once again, and you know, we don't want our Charizard to fall asleep to Sleep Powder shenanigans, so I think Lumberry is good. Now, I understand Calyrex Shadow Rider says that Lumberry is irrelevant, but I'm not worried about Shadow Rider with this kind of team so much because I have the tools to deal with it, okay, even though I have a Dragapult. Now, Thundurus, our supporting set. So, first of all, Mental Herb I like here just because I don't want to get taunted and become like almost useless. We still need to have an electric stab move with Thunderbolt. But our supporting set is going to be Eerie Impulse. That's very strong against like Shadow Rider. That's good against Palkia, good against Dialga, good against Kyogre. Good against any other special attacker, really. Especially if we can bait out that Dynamax and then just render it useless. I think Eerie Impulse makes sense. Scary Face is another one. Speed Control here. Because other than Airstream, we don't really have too much of it. But this is not a team that really, you know, relies so much on Speed Control. It really relies on your bulk and being very just dealing a lot of damage behind your bulk. But Scary Face is good to have here. It helps a lot, especially against an opposing Zacian if we need to outspeed it, especially with our Groudon, especially against like other things that want to go for like Airstream stuff. Scary Face is good to have. And then our last move, which is a kind of cool one that also makes sense on this team, another Clover Tech. Leer Thundurus. We've used Leer Thundurus before when we had Landorus on the team, but I think Leer Thundurus also makes sense here. And if you see what we have, it just kind of makes sense. Like Leer Thundurus with Groudon, right? So you can go for Leer, then you go for -2 defenses with Precipice Blades. It's very, very strong. Of course, it helps Zacian, right? You can pretty much just one-shot the entire generation of Gen 8 with Leer and Zacian. And then it's also good with Dragapult too, because if we can Dynamax this Dragapult, and then, you know, go for Leer, you know, now those Phantasms are hitting hard. Those Max Airstreams are hitting hard. So I think Leer with like these homies are very, very, very good. Are very, very, very strong, I should say. And it just makes sense here. And then what's also good with Scary Face is, you know, in Trick Room, because we're going to be using a slow Groudon, we go against a Trick Room matchup, we can make our Groudon slower, and then now we can make Groudon the main threat in Trick Room, which is, I think, is kind of cool. So this set makes a lot of sense on this team. Incineroar, very standard. You know, Flare Blitz, Fake Out, of course, Parting Shot, and then Throat Chop here. I think there's no really need to run anything else on our Incineroar. Now you could make the argument with Goggles here, but you know, just for like extra security for, you know, Venusaur and Amoonguss, I still think Shuka is good at the moment, just, you know, against opposing Groudons, just to be able to intimidate even Landorus, which can give the squad a little bit of trouble. So just being able to intimidate it and swap into potential Max Quake is always nice. But yeah, I think this is a good 6 in terms of our EVs and our items. Now again, if you don't like Surf, you can just go Helping Hand and then just go like straight AV, you know, Groudon, if that suits your playstyle. But I wanted to do something a little bit more different, a little bit more fun, and I think Surf just makes sense here. You know, it just flat out makes sense on this kind of squad. So now let's just go ahead and show you how we do the EVs here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the EV spreads here. So now with Dragapult, we're just Sash here, and we are an offensive threat. So there's no real reason other than to just go Jolly 252, 252. You know, this is just pretty standard Dragapult set. I would say for the Focus Sash in terms of what we want to do. Now for Groudon here, because we have weakness policy, I don't think we really need that much attack. We'll still go Adamant, of course, but like I think just first benchmark Groudon with 76 investment is all we really need. You might even argue like you can even just go as much as this, 36, but I think benchmark 1 is good, or EV bump number 1 is good. And again, if you don't know what EV bumps are, once again, we have a video that explains what EV bumps are, so check out that video, because if you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, you got to know what EV bumps are. This is the first one for Groudon. 76 investment is very solid here. And then from here, honestly, we just need to invest just a tiny bit of speed, just so that we have a good favorable speed in Trick Room. So we're just gonna go over here with I would say 112 investment. I'm sorry, that was 114. My thing just lagged for a bit. that was actually changed. I think 113 is actually good, not 114. Just because we can outspeed those 112s that want to get an Airstream boost to outspeed base 100s. But you know, with 2 Airstreams or with another another Scary Face, you know, we can outspeed stuff like, you know, slow Aleki, or stuff like, you know, Calyrex Shadow Rider, I would say. So 113 is a pretty good speed, and it's good for Trick Room. And then from here, honestly, we just go into the bulk for Groudon. I think just maxing out the HP is good, and then just a little bit of defense, and then the rest can just go in special defense. Honestly, there's no real other need to go super hard with our calcs at the moment. Again, this is just something that's relatively consistent here, I would say. Now you can even argue, you know, you can take a little bit off of special defense and then just go a little bit faster Groudon, just so that you're faster than maybe other Groudons that are trying to be slow. Like something like 115 is pretty cool, but this is still okay. I feel like if you just go 113 and then just dump the rest in special defense. So yeah, that's our Groudon. And you can also resist the Surf a little bit better, which is also kind of nice. Zacian, I always like Adamant Zacian. I don't like too much Jolly. I think Adamant is pretty sufficient for what we're trying to do here. So I think 148 is good. You know, this is just to outspeed Regieleki after, you know, either +1 or if we drop it to -1. Now technically Scary Face is -2, but you know, it might be a Dynamax Aleki that might be going for something like Airstream or Max Strike. So still want to be able to outspeed that thing. And then from here, just go to the second bump. You know, just be a super hard-hitting Zacian. I think it's more than adequate. And then just dump the rest into your leftover bulk, something like this. And this is our Zacian spread. You know, it's the same Zacian that we've been using since day one, and it hasn't failed me. I have not complained about this type of Zacian spread. I think it's fine for what we're trying to do with it. The Zard here, of course, you know, you just want to be timid here with max speed. All right, a tiny bit of bulk, not too much, just to optimize the chip you would take from solar power, because remember, with solar power, you're losing 1/8 of your HP per turn. So you want to optimize that, because if you break the threshold like this, you know, what is 1/8 of 160? You know, if you need to, you can do you can use your calculator and do the math real quick. But if you were to do the math, 1/8 of 160 is 20. But if we go to 159, now we undercut that, and now we take 19.8 something, which rounds down to 19 damage per turn from the solar power chip. So that's always good to optimize your HP like that. And we'll be coming out with a video to teach you how to optimize HP based on items and other stuff. But for now, we'll just wrap up Zard's EV spreads here, and then the rest just goes into special attack. Relatively standard. This is a common Zard spread on Pikalytics even, but now you know why people do this with Zard. All right, and don't tell me this is what you want with your Zard. Don't tell me you're gonna do 252 Zard. No. We don't do that here in the Clover Academy. We optimize our stuff. All right, so yeah, that's all I need to say about that. All right, so let's just go back to 159 here, and then boom. All right, for the Thundurus, again, we're just going to be relatively bulky. We don't really need that much speed or that much special attack, I would say. It's just meant to be supportive. So we need to keep it on the field a little bit longer, just so that it can keep clicking support moves. All right, so we're just going to go calm here. I think first bump in the calm nature is good, which is about 121 here, and then invest more in this defense mark. So max HP, and then the rest just gets dumped here in the defense mark. So yeah, a bulky supportive Thundurus, go figure, right? And then lastly, the Incin spread. We're just gonna go like, you know, slow bulky Incin. We've been using this Incin spread a little bit more than our faster Incin spread as of late, you know, within the past month and a half, and I think that stays true, you know, going forward. So second EV bump here in the special defense mark, then we just have a little bit of attack, and then enough defense investment where after Intimidate we live those close combat Zacians, or better take the Sacred Sword from an opposing Zacian. All right, so yeah, this is our squad, right? So we have what we need here. So again, just taking a look at the pace. All right, you can kind of see the different combinations. You know, you can even lead Thundurus Dragapult here. You know, just go for Leer, and then just Dynamax, go for hard-hitting Phantasm right off the bat. You can do Thundurus, Groudon. They may even think you're Defiant in the beginning. Even if this is best of 3 and they know you're Prankster, you know, it's hard to say what you can really do. But you know, again, you can go for Leer, Precipice Blades, always very nice. Or you can Leer, Dynamax, and then go for Max Quake, always pretty cool. Thundurus Zacian, you already know what that can do. So I think it's solid. Dragapult, Groudon can be a lead. I think it's kind of funny when it happens. Surf, proc your Precipice Blades, or Surf, proc the Policy, Dynamax, go for those +2 moves, and then bring in the Thundurus in the back, just going for Leer, and with your Policy already broken, I think it makes sense. Now, the more I think about it, the more I think I can replace Swords Dance with another type of coverage move. Maybe even something like Fire Punch, or something like Shadow Claw Groudon, which is actually kind of funny, considering we have Dragapult and Zacian in the back. I don't know about that one, but I think a Steel move just makes a little bit more sense here, just to make the team a little bit more beefy. But yeah, I just like Swords Dance at the moment. You know, Groudon Zard is always a thing. Incin, Incin Zard for turn 1, and then swap into your Groudon, get the boost, and then Dynamax. I think that's also good. So yeah, just a couple of different combinations that you can do right off the bat. But of course it varies, you know, when you're trying to do best of 3, or depending on the matchup. But I think just getting a sense of the combinations and combos you can do with the team is relatively cool to see. All right, so let's just go ahead and test it out in a few sample battles and see how this team can do. A Zacian Calyrex team, a very popular offensive one. It's got Dynamax, Alekia, I'm sure. There's a Cotton Ball on this team, and of course the 2 homies, Zacian and Calyrex here. So I feel fine leading the Dragapult here, believe it or not, just because, you know I have a Sash, and if they want to double target the Dragapult, then they're taking the Precipice Blades, which is going to be kind of funny to see. And then we just clean up in the back with Zacian and something else. So here we go, Dragapult, and here's Groudon here. And he goes with Whimsicott and Thundurus. So not even Calyrex in the lead here. So he Dynamaxes the Thundurus. That's okay. Tailwind, he was already faster, so I don't know why he did that. He crits my Dragapult. That's fine. I have a Sash. I go for the Surf. I go for the policy proc, and I just want to deal as much damage as I can with something like Rock Slide. I missed the Whimsicott, but that's insane damage into the opposing Thundurus. Goes for the Helping Hand. I just want to protect my Dragapult this one turn. He goes into the ground, and of course that's the main threat. And then for Dragapult, I just go for Phantom Force. I want to keep it around at least one more turn. He goes for another Helping Hand play, another Airstream, another crit. But Groudon is very beefy, and Thundurus without a Life Orb just doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And we get rid of the Whimsicott here, so no more Tailwind shenanigans for him. And Thundurus without its max is fine. So that's why I didn't go for the kill, because once the Dynamax is gone from the Thundurus, it's not threatening. I'd rather get rid of the Whimsicott, which is more threatening later, because of the speed shenanigans, and you never know what Whimsicott can do here. But here's the Calyrex finally. So I don't want my Dragapult to die immediately, so I just want to swap into my Incineroar. He doesn't want his Thundurus to die either, so he goes into an Indeedee. He probably wants to go for like Expanding Force combinations like this. That's probably why he did it. But again, we're a little bit. He actually goes for the nasty plot, which is interesting to me. And his Calyrex wasn't even sass, so it just dies. Now, if he clicked Astral Barrage, I think we would have lived that anyway, just because we have a lot of investment. I'm saying if he didn't go for nasty plot, we have a lot of investment in our Spadef, and we have a +1. I think we would have been fine and lived. So I don't think that would have mattered. But now that he went for greed here, he's just a sitting duck here. The Thundurus can just it's not threatening, and especially after it just clicks Superpower, even more so, it's not threatening. There's the Flare Blitz, and that's pretty much it. That was a relatively simple game. You know, this is why Cotton Ball teams like that don't do very well against what we want to do. So let's look at another one. Alright, this is a weird one, and I couldn't tell you what some of these things are supposed to do, especially with the Jolade and the Inteleon, but once again, I'm just gonna, he leads Inteleon Kyogre, so I go for Zacian Incin, just in case, you know, for the Whimsicott, I wanted to put pressure from the beginning. He actually maxes the Inteleon, so I didn't expect that, and he just removes my Zacian right off the top. So it actually kind of makes sense, you know, he has Kyogre, and he beefed up his Inteleon right off the bat, so that was kind of interesting. So he got rid of my 2 mons straight from turn 1. So now I just have Groudon and Zard. I'm just gonna try and make things interesting, but I'm already kind of behind, so I have to go ahead and max the Zard. Oh wow, that's a lot of lag. The Hydro Snipe procs my policy on the Groudon, which is interesting. We don't even remove the Inteleon, which is kind of dumb, but we do get the Precipice Blades off. And now at least we have speed control. And now we're actually looking kind of okay, because the Zard, I go for Airstream. Urshifu's gone. Groudon at +2 Rock Slide unfortunately misses the Yveltal, which is not great, and he goes for Snarl. I would have just went for Foul Play and removed the Groudon, but he went for Snarl instead. And now here's the Kyogre, and this is a little bit more problematic now. I went for the Overgrowth just to see how much damage it would do. It did not do a whole lot. Rock Slide, but there's flinch number 1, and I did not flinch the Ogre. So now I'm just a little bit more of a sitting duck here. Missing that first Rock Slide kind of hurt, and the Inteleon living also kind of hurt, and now we just kind of die. So we got cheese there, but that's okay. Let's look at another one. Okay, this is another Shadow Rider team with Yveltal and Metagross. I don't know about the Metagross here, but he's got the 2 dogs here with Entei, Suicune. Kind of a cool squad if you ask me, but I don't think Metagross is the play at the moment in Series 12. So he goes with Suicune and Metagross. So this is probably Bulldoze. I'm going Thundurus Groudon here, and I'm going for the combo because he's going for the thing anyway. Wow, he actually just clicked Protect. So I went for the Leer combo, and I did go for Precipice Blades. That's very good damage into Suicune, honestly. And I already know what's coming. He's going to go for Bulldoze, and he's going to max this Metagross here. So I'm just going to max my Groudon anyway. Alright, so there's the Bulldoze proc. Alright, there's this policy. There's the Steel Spike. We resist it relatively well. And there's a Thunderbolt. We remove the Suicune, which is great. And here's the Quake. That's good damage into the Metagross. Considering it did more than half with a defense boost, is good to know. But here's the Calyrex again. I Eerie Impulse the Calyrex, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. He goes for Nasty Plot. What's with all these Nasty Plot Calyrexes? The Steel Spike doesn't kill. I do Quake the Calyrex just to get some damage on it. But yeah, now I just have to guard the Groudon and tank 1 Astral Barrage, which we do. But he has lightning on the on the Metagross, and he kills my Thundurus, so that's okay. But his Tailwind is gone, and now we bring in Dragapult here. So we take one Astro Barrage, which is fine, I guess. He kills my Groudon, but that's okay. Now we just go for the Phantom Force, and I know he can't protect against it, and here comes Zacian. So all I have to do is just protect the Zacian one turn, and he goes for the Wisp. And I killed the Calyrex, which is great. And he gets baited, and he goes for the Tantrum into the Zacian. I would have just tried to kill the Dragapult because you have a +2 Metagross anyway. But I think we still win this, even if the Pult goes down, because we can just sword the Metagross, and then just 1v1 the Yveltal here. So I just force again just because there's the Sacred Sword. Goodbye Metagross. Those defense boosts didn't do anything. The foul play Yveltal did do something, but again, we outspeed it anyway, so we just click that move and it dies. So, you know, nice try with the Metagross, but we were able to outlast it. Alright, one more here. This is a Calyrex Dialga squad with Porygon 2, Incin, Amoonguss, and for some reason he has a Kangaskhan. I don't know why he has that, but to me, I just want to go Dragapult and Groudon yet again. If he's just going to be going for Trick Room, I just want to hit him in the mouth with the combination. Now I know about Kangaskhan's ability. He can fake out my Dragapult, but like, you know, why? So I thought he would fake out the Groudon here. So I click Protect. I don't want to be taking that much chunk. Fakes out my Dragapult, and there's the Trick Room. Now that's okay because neither of these things are posing that much of a threat. So all I'm really gonna do is just go into Incin here, and then just go for my Swords Dance here. He actually goes for Shadow Ball in the P2. That's kind of funny. So I beef up my Groudon here. I max my Groudon. He protects the Calyrex. That's a good play. I wanted to remove it from the first turn. Foul play P2 doesn't even do that much to Groudon, which is kind of funny. So there's the Rockfall. We do a decent amount, but we get his Policy going, so that's not great. Because now he can just max this and maybe smash my Groudon in the mouth. But he chooses to remove the Incineroar instead. Okay, and there's another P2 foul play. And I just removed the Calyrex with a Quake. So I'm very curious as to why he did that one. But we're still in a good spot. Now he can Dynamax the Dialga, which is, I guess, what he was going for. All I have to do is just protect Zacian this first turn and just outlast a Dialga, move. And he goes into the Zacian. So fortunate for me, he didn't go for the Groudon here. I thought the Groudon was more of a threat. And now we just removed the Dialga. So that didn't work out for him. And now he just has the Kangaskhan left, which is not really threatening. I'm just going to go back into my Pult and protect my Groudon here. And that's exactly where he goes. He goes into that slot. And now we're just kind of chilling because now we can go for the big play, which is the Surf, the Weakness Policy proc. All right. And now the Press Persuades, and now we just one-shot everything, which is kind of funny. And that's a great way to end our team building video. So that's why Swords Dance and Weakness Policy is actually kind of funny. But yeah, now let's just go ahead and look at the pace one last time. Alright, so here's the pace one last time. So again, the Dragapult worked very well. I mean, the combinations are kind of good. Zard is still a good max option. We just ran into some cheese with Inteleon. I don't know anybody playing Inteleon these days, but, that's okay. Swords Dance was kind of funny in that one game. Again, after testing it like a few more times, it's still pretty good. Like, I still did like Leer Zacian combinations and even Leer Dragapult. I think there was like one game where I did max a Dragapult. And then it did fine, and then Zacian just cleaned up. So yeah, lots of flexible leads and lots of flexible combinations with this kind of squad. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you think Dragapult makes sense here. Let me know if you want to see another move besides Swords Dance on this Groudon set. But if you don't like Surf on the Dragapult, you can easily just put back Helping Hand and just go like Assault Vest Groudon or something else. And then you'd still be perfectly fine if that's how you want to play it. So we'll be back with another Series 12 video. And again, don't forget to consider team building with me. Again, that is a tier 3 sub to the channel if you are interested in building a squad and hashing out all the EVs and taking a team to the tournament, or using your tournament team and maybe improving it where I can maybe fix up the spreads a little bit. Definitely consider going for the tier 3 team building sub to the channel, and then message me on Discord, and then we can get started with the process. And it's all done on a Discord call, so Definitely look at that. Very affordable, only $9.99. So definitely worth your money. I highly recommend it. So again, now we'll be back with another Series 12 squad. Until next time, guys. Peace.